Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Artbeads Fab Fridays with Deb. We sadly lost our team member, Sarah Lovecraft, but we want to keep giving you content on Friday afternoons because Fridays are the best. Hopefully you're wrapping up your week. You just maybe get off of work and you want to hang out. You want to talk about beads. You want to look at beads. You want to make stuff. It's a perfect time to hang out. So you can find me here 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. I see Thaisa is there. She is going to be moderating this afternoon. Hi, Thaisa. And I see Michelle is there as well. So you guys can chit chat with three of us today. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Gina C. Thank you so much. And Ilka is here. Thank you so much. Jan T is here from Montana. Hi, Amy. Gosh, you guys, thank you for being here. So it is Halloween, and this is about as close to a costume as you're going to get from me. So I'm going to just stand up a little bit. This is a t-shirt that says laziest costume ever. And I have my, my little fascinator with the spider. And I've got Halloween jewelry, of course. So that's my big Halloween costume for the day. You know, it's hard to dress up like I used to. So, you know, this is fun, nice and, you know, festive. And we've got the orange and black. It's all good. Happy Halloween, you guys. Thank you for coming in. Let's see who else is here. Monique Daly. Hello, Monique. Kara is here. PJ from Florida. Gail C. Francie and KC. Thank you, Michelle. Let's see who else. Connie loves my necklace. I did this necklace on a show, and I think this one actually was made with all Starman beads, but I did not make it in a show. Sandy says, good one. Laura D, happy Halloween. Batty Girl, hello. I like that name. Teresa in Illinois. Oh my gosh, you guys. Janet K is from Northeast Texas. Carolyn in Oregon. Let's see who else. Jane from Long Island. Hello, hello. Thanks, Laura D. I'm so glad to be here on a Friday. Excuse me, on a Friday, if I can get my voice. And I'm so glad to hang out with all of you. So it is Halloween, and let's get some business out of the way before we get started with some Halloween fun. We are in the midst of a Halloween Dollar Day sale at artbeads.com. There are $1, $2, and $3 deals out there. If you go to the website, Artbeads is an amazing job. They'll put a banner up on the screen. Yeah, Sandy, I'm confused on what day it is personally. They will put a banner on the website that will allow you to click into that sale, and they organize those $1, $2, and $3 deals. So if you want to pop over there and check that out, you have through the end of the day, Monday. So I'll be able to remind you on Monday, because Monday, I might remember that it's Monday. But there's lots of great deals, and there is a gift with purchase. So if you spend $31 or more, you get a really cool Dracula bead. I mean, he is the cutest. So you will want to get that in your package. So if you can eke out $31 worth of goodies, that will come home to you. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Santa Barbara girl is here. Hi, lady. Lisa in PA. Yeah, I'm confused on what day it is, but I'm still going to be here on Mondays too. So you get me to end your week and start your week. And Julie Bean will usually be on Saturday morning, so you can catch her then. All right, so I am going to be doing a giveaway towards the end of the show. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, come over to artbeads.com. And you could just type artbeads.com/live in your browser. That will bring you right to the live page. But you can all, go to the website and you'll see a live icon or the show will pop up for you. But we want you to watch wherever you prefer watching, but just know if you watch here at artbeads.com, you can chit chat with me and Michelle and Thaisa and all of the other serious art beaters here. We love you all, and you can shop the show. So there is a shopping bag icon on your screen that will allow you to shop the show at any point in time during the show. I don't go away. You can still hear me and see me, and you can drop some of these fun goodies into your shopping cart, and you can get them home to you right away when you check out. So, that's the business. So hang around to the end of the show today. I do have a giveaway, and we're going to start the show today with something not so spooky, not really spooky. So let me flip the camera. Let's see. Okay. So I do have my spooky stuff here. So I've got my spooky skeleton hand and all my spider webs and all this silliness. So let's move this out of the way. I always bring that stuff out this time of year, and I love to have it around. But guess what? I have a brand new bead strand assortment for you today. It has not been opened, you guys. So I'm excited about this. This one has some things that are singing my song. And it is called, I believe it's still called Tribal Hearts. It should be on your screen. And I'm opening this up for the first time, and I've only seen it through the packaging. So I'm just going to start with this. Oh my goodness, look at these. Okay, I love hearts. That is one of my most favorite things. And look at all these beautiful Czech glass hearts. They look to be table cut. Maybe they're not table cut, but they've got this cool Picasso finish around them to create like a frame. Jan says she just popped this into her cart. This is a good one, Jan. And these beads alone, I mean, this lovely shade of red, nice and deep for this time of year. This color red is divine. So let's set that here. Oh, and look, we've got some straggling seed beads from a project I was working on earlier today. Oh my goodness. Like, I have seed beads everywhere in here. So look at these. These are definitely table cut, and they are shiny as all get out, except around the edges where they are like a matte finish. And these are kind of one of those organic teardrop shapes that we occasionally see, but a lot of times we see them bigger. So the smaller ones are really, really cool. So if you take, a couple of these hearts and you match them up to these black ones, they are so divine. And then this is one of my favorite kinds of strands, these little daisy spacers in Czech glass. I love a good daisy spacer, and in Czech glass, they are amazing. And this color red, look at that. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. This one's a little brighter. And then the hearts did not stop. This one, hi Sharon. I love this one too. Look at these beautiful little hearts. So this to me would make just the coolest bracelet by itself. Literally just put this on some beading wire, grab a fun clasp, and you have an instant beautiful bracelet. Yum, Amy, I agree with you. And then this looks like a harvest to me. Like, this screams harvest. So this is a really eclectic and cool bead strand assortment. Like, Mixmaster Megan is just really grabbing some great stuff. Can we call this Dracula's Bleeding Heart? Sure, Batty Girl. I don't know if I can convince anybody else to call it that, but we here among us can definitely call it that. Janty and Amy, Indian corn. Yes, look at that. And they're the nicest little like little spacers that you can use, such lovely colors. Colors of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I believe that was Ms. Lovecraft's favorite team. Ilka says, does look like Indian corn. So yes, this is a fun assortment. So this one has, just a few strands, but the strands are amazing. So this one is brand new today. I highly recommend this one. We will do some things with this coming up because this is just a lot of fun. And I think because it is limited edition that you may not want to wait on this. Know that anytime we show you these bead strand assortments, they are limited edition and they are exclusive to Artbeads. So you're not going to find this combination of beads anywhere else. This is just exclusive to us. So drop that in your cart today. I think a few of you have grabbed them already. We'll make some things and you can most certainly share what you make in the Serious Art Beaders Facebook group if you would like. So I today want to do something fun with a bead strand assortment that I've already shown you, but I held on to it. And Carolyn, yes, Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. So you might want to save them for Valentine's Day. So this is what I wanted to show you guys today. It is a waterfall necklace, and I call it a waterfall necklace. I don't know technically if that's what it's called, but I call it that. And I call it that because of these little cascades of beads that look like a bit of a waterfall. I wish I could remember which bead strand assortment I made this with, but I thought today we could do something with the Black Mix number 2, which I opened up on my Designing with Deb show a couple of weeks back. And I held on to it because I knew today would be a really fun day to work with this one. So let me pull this over and we can see all of this delicious goodness that was part of the Black Mix number 2. So I love this one. I love black beads. I have to say I'm a bit of a black bead fan because I wear a lot of things that sometimes need just some dark colored beads, some black beads. Maybe I've got on black pants or a black shirt, and just something about adding black to your accessory repertoire is really fantastic. So I'm going to show you the beads really quickly so I can refresh your memory. And if you have this one, tell me what you think. You've got a strand of cubes, and these are nice little rounded cubes. Super cool. Oh, Batty Girl says her birthday is Valentine's Day. Well, it must be. That does not surprise me. We've also got these incredible rondelles that are like a table cut and faceted, and then they have a partial kind of iridescent finish on them. And you get a strand of those as well. You also get, look at these. These are amazing leaf beads. So these are drilled through the center. So they drill all the way down the center of your leaf, and they are a matte black on one side and then this amazing iridescent finish on the other. So they go nicely with these beads. I dropped that guy right in there, didn't I? So they go nicely with these. And then we've got these leaves, which are really fun. Monica says she bought 2 packs of these and they're beautiful. Well, I could use 2 packs of these myself. I mean, they are gorgeous. These are top drilled, so they have a hole up top. And so they hang down a little bit, so you can do all kinds of fun things with those as accents. There's a little strand of these little pebbles. If these weren't glass, I would swear they were actual pebbles. Or I guess I would say if they weren't black, I would say they were little pebbles. But they are a little pebble-shaped bead. Really nice. They feel really nice. And then you get 2 different sizes of petal beads. So we've been seeing these in some of these bead strand assortments, and they are so fun. They add such interesting texture. And hi, who was that just popped through? Kathy, you're a little late. We're just getting started on our project. So 2 different sizes of those. So you can intermix those. You can use them separately. These are phenomenal. They are flower beads, and they are just so cool. So flowers you can wear all year round, and it's even more cool when the flowers are more of a seasonal color. So a darker tone, really, really cool. Then we've got the tiny little daisy spacer type Czech glass beads like we looked at in the new assortment that launches today. These are just gorgeous. They are all of that sort of iris finish, really cool. They go great with everything. And then last but not least, there's this mixed strand. So there's this mixed strand that has all kinds of cool shapes. And they even have some leaves. So these are top drilled leaves, but they have a little bit of a curve to them. And they look a little iridescent on one side. So look at that finish just creates some shine and some interest. And they have a little carved leaf detail on both sides of the bead. And there's other shapes included. There's some little bicone shapes. So there's a couple camera to focus. There we go. There's a little bicone here, and then there's kind of a larger stretched out bicone. So this is a great fun bead strand assortment to work with. And I thought what we would do is create a waterfall necklace with this. And again, this is, what did I do with it? This is what I'm calling Waterfall. So I did this one using some of those cushion rounds. And Michelle says, perfect for that Dracula bead we have as a free gift. I agree. So we're going to do something similar to that. And what I did, guys, was I pulled all of this out. And I also grabbed some really cool connector pieces. And I thought we could integrate that into our necklace. So this is what I'm talking about with a cool connector piece. So this is a gorgeous sterling silver modern deco focal link. So it has a loop on the top and a loop at the bottom. And I thought rather than just use all beads for our little waterfall section of the necklace, let's integrate something interesting, something with some interesting shape and some metallic so that it will kind of just create something interesting and fun. So those are in the shopping bag as well. If you like those, you can grab those. They're also great for earrings because you can literally, put the top loop onto an ear wire wrap a bead that dangles down, and you've got a really cool earring. So they're gorgeous. So I got 3 of them for this project, and I started the waterfall pieces. So we're going to create the 3rd one. We're going to do 3 like this sample necklace I'm showing here. So we're going to do 3 little waterfall pieces. And so we'll make this one, and then we're going to string all of it together. And the only other thing that I thought we would add to the mix is a couple of demi rounds. So I love working with demi rounds. I've worked with them a lot on my Designing with Deb show. They are a half seed bead, so they are a little smaller in size in terms of width or height, however you would look at that. But I've got 8s in a black. These are actually opaque jet. And then I've got a size 11 in my favorite seed bead color, nickel. So these are going to be our continuity spacers throughout the piece. And so let's first of all start by finishing our third dangle. And that will be part of the waterfall. And I want to set that off to the side to remind myself what I did there. So you could, hi Kathleen, you could take this piece and add a jump ring, and this could be the top of your long dangle. But I thought, let's do something interesting. Let's make this really unique. So I'm going to start by creating a little loop or a beaded connector with the leaf bead. So I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, and I'm going to create a wire wrap loop at the top of my wire. And this is going to go directly on to my beading wire. So in this case, because I'm going to be attaching a bead, I'm just going to do the loop up top. And then what did I do with my cutters? Let's grab these. So I'm going to do my loop, and then I'm going to put my bead on. And on the other pieces, I put the leaf with the larger end up top, like this. It's going to look like that. And then I'm going to start my my loop down at the bottom. And I'm going to open that up, and then I'm going to attach the skinnier end of this little connector piece. And I'm going to put that into the loop like so. And then I'm going to come in with my chain nose, and I'm just going to do a couple of wraps. And what you want to do is make sure that your loop up top is this direction, so you can put it straight on, and you'll want the bottom one to be that way too, so that this piece will hang right, if that makes sense. So I'm going to trim off my excess, and you can come in with your chain nose. You could even use your bent chain nose in this case, if that's a little easier for you to kind of see your piece. And then you can have your first section all ready to go. And if you need to, you can grab a hold of this end and in here and straighten that out. And so you've got your link ready to go, and you've got your connector there. So I'm using 22 gauge wire. I do think if you wanted to go with a 24 gauge wire, you could do that too. And I'm probably using more wire than I need, because that's just how I do. But here we've got 3 more beads that we're going to attach. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. And happy Halloween, Dee. So we're going to come in here and do another wire wrap loop. And I always wrap one end by itself before I do anything else. I'm just going to get my, my first end ready. And then what I want to do is I want to come in like this. And actually, I think I need to go the other direction. Oh, you know what? This one, I know what I did wrong. Okay. We got to wrap both ends here. So we've got to do, because we're in between pieces for this one. I knew that wasn't looking right to me. So I'm going to do my loop, and I'm going to open that guy up, and then I'm going to attach that to my connector. And then I have so many tools here. And then I'm going to hold on to my loop, and I'm just going to do a couple of wraps. And then I'm going to snip off my excess like that. Now I can put my bead on. So it's hanging this way. And in my other two pieces, this leaf is going to be facing in the opposite direction as the one above. So like that. And now I can actually I could have just done a loop down here, but that's okay. You can do this however you would like, however your process goes. You can do it the way that you are comfortable. So let me go back around. Now, when you have these beads that have a little bit of an indentation, so the leaves have this kind of dip in them, just know that it may not wrap perfectly in that case. So, just do the best you can. Get that as good as you can get it. This is not the best wrap, but it's okay. So, I'm going to actually turn this bead around, which you can still do. And now we've got our first section done there. And now I'm going to grab another piece of wire. We're going to wrap the flower next. And I like the flower in this mix. We're going to add some flowers to the strung part of the necklace. So we can kind of match that back. So all of these beads are going to be in the beaded portion of the necklace. So I like to tie in the same beads into the accent or the focal section of the piece, because then everything kind of is harmonious. So we've got our flower bead, and then I'm going to start my loop up here, and we're going to connect that to the leaf here. So we're going to drop that guy into the loop. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually do all of your connections with jump rings. So if that's more comfortable for you as a maker, you can most certainly just do your wire wrap loops, create your links, and then attach them all with jump rings. So I've got to straighten out my loops here a bit because they are not necessarily facing the way that they need to be. So now we've got our like this. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a head pin to attach the last leaf in the whole cascade here. So in the other two pieces, that leaf is going kind of downwards. So the skinnier part of the leaf is going down into the center. And Janet K is saying, still trying to master loop making. Well, I will say my loops are not perfect today for sure. And my loops are often not perfect. So it takes, just takes practice. And sometimes they're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Like, I think especially if it's a piece for you, it's okay for them not to be perfect. So that little guy is wrapped, and now we've got our third cascade for our piece. So the last thing I like to do is just kind of check on everything. Make sure it looks right. And then I'm going to pull my other two to just double check that everything looks the same. They're all matched up. So we've got the actual waterfall part of our necklace. So this is the part. Now, just to give you a little bit of an alternative idea, you could also, in a waterfall, make one piece longer. So you could take the center one and have that be longer. So add additional beads. You could make two of them longer and one shorter. So that's another design variation you can think about when you're putting something like this together. So let's dump out some seed beads, and we're going to use these 8/0s and the 11/0s together. We're going to make like little demi-round sandwiches as we go. So let me pull this guy up a little bit. And now I'm going to, let me get my scraps out of the way. I'm going to grab some 19 strand beading wire. This is just kind of middle of the road in terms of draping. This is a nice quality. I love the Beadalon beading wire. It's a nice quality, but I think I also I might have put in some Artbeads wire as well as an option for you. So I'm going to start from the center here, and I'm going to start with the wire on the package, and we'll do the center and up one side, and then we'll cut and we'll work on the other side when I feel like I need to start seeing it from both sides. So I'm going to take this center guy, and I'm going to start by putting that right like this. And I'm going to take the bigger of my my demi rounds, and I'm going to put one of those, one of the nickel, and another black. So this is going to create some dimension. It's going to create a little bit of metallic to tie back to our metallic in the waterfall pieces. And what I think I'd like to do here is put in these cool little leaf beads. So these have that top drill on them, and it's going to add just a nice little accent between the bead. Now, looking at that, they're a little bit too close. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a cube bead and take that and put that there. That's giving me enough clearance for this waterfall piece not to bump into that bead. And then I'll do another set of those demi rounds. And then the leaf, and that leaf's going to just kind of stand out by itself in this little spot here. It's going to look like that. And then Batty Girl, I love your cool and great design step. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. Guys, make my afternoon here with your comments. Okay, so there we're going to do this and then another cube. So we've got plenty of room for our little waterfall section to move on its own. This is kind of a big space, but I think it's going to be okay. One of the other things to think about when you're doing something like this is, are these too far apart? So we'll see before we actually start stringing the rest how this looks. So here's our second one, and that guy's just caught up a little bit there. So that's how these two, I really like that. So that's the section in between, giving those two parts of the waterfall room to move around. So we're going to hold off on adding this one for just a minute because we're going to start going up the side so you can get a sense of how this is going to look. So, Janet K, I wish I had the money to buy all the cool bead sets, and there are a lot of them. So yeah, that, if you could have all of them, boy, that would be fantastic. It'd be so much fun to have just all these great, beads to pick from when you sit around looking for something to make, right? So here's another cube. I'm going to bring that continuity, and I'm going to add one more leaf. So in between each bead, you guys, I'm adding this little trio of the demi rounds. And there's something about the demi rounds for me. I don't know. They're just a really cool dimension accent, just a really nice little way to add some spacing without anything being super cumbersome. But even though there's 3 of them, they still don't look, they don't look cumbersome. So I'm going to do one more cube, and then I think we're going to add some larger beads. So keeping in mind, we've still got one more piece of our focal. And actually, you know what? We could actually act like I'm going to do all 3 pieces because we can right here. So let's just do the whole focal so we can see that, and then we'll start going up the side. We don't have to start from the exact center. So let's put this one on. And sometimes when you get to this point, you might want to look and straighten out some of your loops and things, but that looks really cool. That looks really fun. So you've got some nice separation. So these have movement, and you've got these fun little dangly things that go, you know, those leaves that kind of dangle down. I think that's fun. So, okay, so now let's go up the side, and I'm still going to add the cube and the leaf and another cube. And then we'll start going with some of the different beads here. And I want to incorporate those flowers for sure, and the leaves for sure, because those are part of the rest of the necklace. So let's put those all on. And I was just thinking, if you could have all of the bead strands, think of all the combinations you could put together with all of the bead strands. You could make your own bead strand assortments if you had all of them. That would be fun. Yes. Okay. So let me just take a look from above here. How are we looking? Oh, that's so pretty. Batty Girl says the demi-rounds are small, but pack a big punch in color and shape. I am madly in love with them. I find that I'm picking those up as spacers more often than I'm using seed beads now. And I'm really digging that these they just look really different, and they look interesting, and they create some fun dimension. And I also put in the shopping bag these. These are a size 8 in higher metallic iris olivine. These would match nicely too and add some cool color dimension here. So if you're looking for more demi-round options, that one is also in the shopping bag today. So I'm going to take a leaf again. I'm going to grab one of these leaves, and I'm going to put that next, and then I'm going to put a flower on next, because I want to integrate both of those. Oops, I skipped a black one. I want to integrate both of those in, since we use them in our waterfall portion of this piece. And, oh gosh. So let's grab the flower. And I admit I have trouble seeing the holes on the flowers when I'm looking at them through the camera. They're hard to see, those holes in those beads with the black beads. And then I think I'm going to add another leaf. And I'm going to add the leaf going in the opposite direction. So it's going to frame up that flower like that. So look at just look at the combination of those beads. It's just so much fun. So then let's do another flower. And then I think we've got some choices of what we can do next. So now I think I might do another leaf, and then I might add a little bit of texture. And we've got some cool beads to add texture. So let's get on our next set of spacers. And then I'm thinking this could sound a little bit crazy, but I'm not shy about trying to take some create some interesting texture. So the little petal beads are fun. So I took one of the small ones and then one of the large ones and then another small one. And let's see how that looks as a little bit of interest. So just a little bit of fun. This is also something that you can fidget with as you're wearing this piece. So I kind of like adding a couple, maybe a couple sections of those. And that will create a little bit of fun interest there. And then I like the idea of these guys, these rondelles. And I think what I want to do with these is just put a rondelle and one of the nickel seed beads and like do a series of 3 of those rondelles and only the silver or the nickel seed bead in between. And then on the other side of that trio, go back to our 3 demi rounds. And then another one of our little trio of the petals. And I know that's a little bit strange, but I kind of like the idea of adding some more texture here and adding just a little bit of interest up further on the piece. So this is a statement necklace. We're going to make a statement. It might not be your statement, but that's what this little section is looking like. And I think that's kind of fun. Movement, yes. So I think that looks pretty great. And I think what I want to do now is continue with the pattern we started down here. So the leaves and the flowers. So we just kind of took a little detour from that pattern. And now we're going to go to a fun little pattern of the little rondelles and the petals, and then go back to the other. So let's see, we had a flower there. So we're going to put a flower here. If I can find the hole on this bead. The black beads are hard, especially for my tired eyes on a Friday afternoon. Okay, so then we're going to do our set of demi rounds again. And then a leaf. Now the last leaf was facing the flower. So I'm going to have that one face the flower, or, you know, have the smaller part of the leaf downwards. I don't know that you could say it's facing, so to speak. And then another flower. So we've got plenty of these flowers. That's the thing, is this strand assortment has a lot of beads. So it's a great one to work with. You've got lots of beads and lots of options, and it's super fun. And we might be giving this away for our giveaway today. What do you guys think of that? We're going to give away one of these. So if you are watching at artbeads.com/live, that is the only place we'll be able to see comments. So we'll be asking a trivia question a little bit later when we get a little bit further along with this piece. And then, you know, you'll be able to participate, and we can see your comments, and maybe you'll win this amazing bead strand assortment. So I'm just going to quickly do a fit check on myself. So I think this is about the length I'm going for, but I just need a few more beads up top. Now I've used the cubes here, and I think I'm going to end it with cubes. So I've got my spacers, I've got my little combination of flowers and leaves here. And then I'm going to add a cube and another cube. I think I'll do 3 cubes. The cubes are pretty small, but I think I'm going to add 3 of them. And they'll just have the little spacer combo that we've been working with. And so I'm going to add the next one, and then we will go up the other side of this piece. So I'm going to end on the actual cube bead because this cube bead has a nice size hole and it's a nice flat surface for us to crimp to. So let me just double check the length again. I think that's right. So I'm going to pull my wire down because I've got quite a bit of wire here. So I'm going to pull my wire and leave a few inches for us to finish our piece. So I'm going to grab everybody's best friend. I didn't put these in the shopping bag. Maybe Thaisa or Michelle, if these are available, maybe we could add the bead stoppers in to the shopping bag because they are very helpful for this kind of designing. When you don't cut your wire right away, you're going to need to have a stopper. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to cut about the same length of wire for the other side of the piece. And we're going to start on the other side. So we, on either side of our waterfall piece over here, had our little demi-round trio. So we'll add that. And then we did another cube. So we'll pop that on and grab our demi-rounds. And then one more of those top drilled leaves over here. I love these top drill leaves. They're such beautiful leaves. If Megan is watching, Megan, this is such a fantastic bead strand assortment. It's great. It's just a really cool collection of beads. And to know that, you know, this one is exclusive to Artbeads. No one else is going to have this same strand assortment. So, you know, it's kind of special, All right, so now we can add another one of our leaves, our lengthwise whole leaves like this. And they do move around, you guys. So just so you know, since they are double-sided, they can move around. So they're dark on one side and they have that finish on the other, and that's okay. If that bothers you, you can pick a different bead to work with. So it doesn't bother me. I kind of like the fact that the necklace is going to look different. You know, it's going to be different maybe in, you know, different moments that you're wearing it. If you are disco dancing in this necklace, it is going to move around for sure. So, all right. So let me grab that bead. And now I've got so many black beads here. I'm losing my piece in the whole picture here, and I'm almost out of my larger demi rounds. So let me take a pause and dump some more of those out. Make sure you guys can see this. So as a reminder, you guys, we're going to do a little giveaway at the end here. You will need to be on artbeads.com/live to participate, because we unfortunately can't see your comments if you're watching somewhere else or you're watching on replay. So let's see. I need another flower here. And is anybody dressing up tonight for Halloween? Is anybody going to a Halloween party tonight? Inquiring minds would like to know. Thank you, Darlene. I am not going to a party. I am going to veg on my couch. We don't get trick-or-treaters at my house. There's no kids in my neighborhood. Like maybe one kid, but they obviously don't trick-or-treat here. And so we don't get trick-or-treaters. So we just kind of hang out. Let's see. I saw a comment. You've made me rethink my leaf beads. Oh, that's great. Sandy says, our trick-or-treat citywide was last night. Ruth Alice says, I have my wire wrap bracelet on as well as my dangle skulls from the freebie kits. That's as good as it gets. Okay, Ruth, that's good. Because, I mean, I don't know if you saw my costume today. Michelle is saying, currently dressed up as a time traveler. Oh, Michelle, I wish I could see you. I bet that's cool. You strike me as somebody who would do a great costume, Michelle. I'm just thinking you must be a good costume girl. I can picture it. I used to do costumes, but I don't know. I really haven't had any parties to go to or anything. So I haven't worn a costume in a long time. So let's see. Okay, so now I've gotten through, this is my second like funky section of the necklace. So we've got those 2 petal sections here. And I'm doing the petals. So the petals, just a little heads up, they have like 2 different sides to them. One is, a little concave. The other is, the opposite of that. So I try to string them on in these trios so that they are all facing the same direction. And they can move, they can kind of move better that way. But you could play around with that idea too. And you could do some different things with these petals. The petals might also look interesting down at the focal section if you wanted to do those in between your waterfall section. Just an idea, just some alternative design ideas. All right, so we're almost strung, and all of the little beads make it a little bit time consuming to string. But when I get to this point, I'm just kind of double checking my piece to make sure everything's kind of going the way it should, moving the way it should. Everything's in order, because I'll have to double check again, because it always seems like when I do something on camera, I miss a bead or I skip something. And so I may need to do a double check again before we actually finish it. So there's our last flower. Oh man, I love these beads. I really do love these beads. So let's see, one more black one. And then we've got one more leaf. And remember, I'm doing the leaves in kind of the opposite directions, but you can do them all in one direction going this way, one direction going that way. So many possibilities with how you can work with these beads that have, cool shapes like this. All right, now we've got, I'm just gonna pull this wire out a little bit just to give myself a little bit more room here. And then I just need 3 cubes. And then we've got our piece put together. So let's get those cubes on. And the black beads, again, I struggle with seeing them as I go. And then I can look up at comments again. So I'm going to end on a cube. I'm not going to end on spacers. And now I'm going to grab another one of my bead stoppers. So let me catch up on comments really quick. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Darlene says, we don't get them either. Our house is on the back of another house, so they don't see us. Batty girl, last time we dressed for a party, I went as Red Riding Hood and my husband went as a wolf. Oh, that's so cute. I love that idea. I love the couples costumes. Those are always so fun. Thaisa says, my daughter and I are dressing up as Beanie Babies. Oh my gosh, what a great idea. And she says, also Michelle does do a great costume. Thaisa, I would love to see yours too. Sandy says, I wear a costume when I pass out treats. Keeps me entertained. That's fun. I would love to do that. Jan T says, just staying in, watching monster movies with my family. Oh, I love monster movies. I love the old monster movies. And Batty Girl says, I love seeing the costumes. Monica says, we don't get any trick-or-treaters here either. We live in the boonies. We still get candy, so the good thing is we get to eat all the treats. Oh my gosh, I almost bought some candy, and I thought that was probably not a good idea. Let's see, and Beverly says she's so sorry to be late. Beverly, you can watch the replay. All right, I'm going to take this guy, and I'm actually going to move... I'm going to move my little mat out of the way. So give me 1 second. And then I want to show you how this looks. So, and I also am going to do my double check on how the whole thing comes together. So we have our dangle. Sandy said, well, you saved money for beads, Deb. Candy prices were very high here. Yes, if I didn't buy the candy, then it should be okay for me to buy the beads, right? I saved some money, saved some cash. So I love this, you guys. I love this, this just cascade, this waterfall that we created. Super fun. And then it's hard to tell if it's right when the beads are flipped around. So I'm flipping them just to see if they all look right to me. And oh my gosh, I really like this. So hanging, this might tip a little bit. So when this actually is hanging down, these might be slightly at an angle, but I'm okay with that. But I really like this. So if you were wanting to modify this, so you could just, so it was too few beads to do just this and the demi rounds, but you could get maybe one of the larger beads, like you could grab one of the pebbles like that. Maybe that would add a little bit more spacing. Maybe you could do 2 of these in between each one of your waterfall pieces, and that would make it space a little bit differently. And it will be interesting when I actually put this on to see how these metal pieces will lay. How long is it overall? Let's see. Let me see. So we've got 6, 7, 8 to there, and then 9, 10, 11 and a half, so 8, 9, 10, so about 20, I would say 24 inches long to the bottom here. So I'm gonna quickly put this on my neck. I know I don't have a clasp on it yet. I'm gonna just put this on my neck. So I gotta take off my other Halloween necklaces here. I'm just gonna see how it hangs on me. And you know what? I might actually take off a couple beads. So this is always what I do. I end up thinking it's too short and then it's too long. So I'm gonna take 2 of my cubes off, and that means all of the demi rounds that go with it. So this is what I suggest you guys do if you're struggling a little bit with your necklaces. Don't finish it. Take a moment, test it out, go look at yourself in the mirror if you need to. And so that should take off about 1 inch. And if you don't like this movement here, you could add, just keep the continuity of the rest of the beads. And I'm seeing the time check here, so I'm actually not going to finish this, but what I am going to do is put this around my neck. And I'm going to put another bead stopper back there so you guys can see how this looks on. So give me 1 second. And then If you are still over at another platform and you guys would like to participate in the giveaway, I'm going to give you another like 30 seconds to come on over to artbeads.com/live so you can participate in the giveaway. Okay, so that, I like that. So it's just sitting right around my collar, and then we've got these beautiful little waterfall pieces. So we created what I'm calling a waterfall necklace, and this has lovely movement. Those little movement pieces probably aren't that visible, but you can play with them while you're sitting. You can play with those little beads back there. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, so this is our waterfall necklace, but we want you guys to have an opportunity to make a waterfall necklace or something else with these gorgeous black mix #2 beads. So Michelle and Thaisa, are you guys ready for our giveaway? Because if folks are all participating, those comments are going to come fast and furious. Thank you, you guys. Thanks so much. So, all right, Michelle is ready. Okay, this is an easy one for a Friday afternoon and for the very first Art Beads Fab Friday with Deb on Halloween. Here's our question. Where on the Art Beads website can you find all of the Halloween goodies? First one to give the correct answer in the comments at artbeads.com/live will get one of these amazing black bead mixes. I saw it. I saw the answer. We'll let Michelle be the verifier for the proper answer, and I am so excited about someone getting one of these bead strand assortments because this one is so fun. So many possibilities. Michelle, I don't know if you saw it. I did see it. Quite a while back. I could tell you who I think it is, Michelle, if you need me to verify. I think it was. I'll wait for Michelle. Michelle got it. Okay, yay. Michelle from Georgia. Thank you so much for your correct answer. Halloween headquarters. So there is a Halloween headquarters section in New and Noteworthy. It's a little box with some cute little Halloween fun things in it. Now, I know it's Halloween today, but if you want to grab some Halloween goodies for next year, that stuff may not be available next year, and there's some good stuff this year. So I'm hoping that you guys will want to grab some fun goodies from there and be ready for next year. I've got my laziest costume ever on. I hope whatever you guys are going to do today, like tonight for Halloween, that you enjoy it. If you're going to watch scary movies, you're going to hand out candy, you're going to go to a party, or you're going to make jewelry, whatever it is, I hope that you have a wonderful time and you'll have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me here for the very first Friday show of mine. And I'll be back on Monday, but I do declare that Ms. Julie Bean will be here tomorrow morning to start your weekend, or officially start your weekend. We're starting Friday. We're doing Friday night starts. And gosh, you guys, I'll see you Monday morning, and I appreciate all of you being here. Have a great rest of your Halloween. Thanks, Michelle and Thaisa. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, everybody.